Kush's movie review.
Oh, in a world where people are walking around the grocery store or sitting in a bar and they're listening to the music and then they're like, oh my God, I love this song, but what is it? I want to put this in my playlist. Only one man can help them. He has the strength of 1,000 men and the music knowledge of 1,000,000. It's Shazam. Is that the same guy? Is that what this is? Shazam?
That's
No.
it's an interesting cross mix you made there. That was an interesting mix you made. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks.
So
Shazam! Fury of the
Shazam.
Gods.
That was the coin of fate dropping.
Oh my god.
Shazam. Shazam 2. Fury of the Gods. It's this is the second Shazam movie, as we just noted. It is PG-13. It is 2 hours and 10 minutes,
10
which
minutes too
I
long.
normally don't like. It's you know what? This movie could have been shorter, but I actually don't have a complaint about its run length. However, I'm going to say this, directed by David F. Sandberg. He is responsible for some of the Annabelle films. He also did a movie called Lights Out, which is why everyone knows him. He did the previous Shazam movie. Did you see the last Shazam movie?
I did. I actually
Okay, what you
enjoyed it.
think?
I thought it was pretty good.
Fun little family movie, fun superhero movie. We get a lot of comparisons to the '90s, but yeah, if this was the '90s, this movie would have fucking crushed it, dude. Like they're equal parts horror, action, adventure, super heroics, of course, comedy. There's some romance, like there's tragedy. Like Shazam: Fury of the Gods seems to deliver a lot, and it we might have to thank the writers Henry Gayden, who I'm not familiar with, but also Chris Morgan, who was responsible for the Fast and Furious franchise.
Ooh.
Oh, indeed. David F. Sandberg, like I said, directed this, and this is Shazam. It's 4 years later, and this is actually unlike most comic book movies. This is not adapted from any one specific story arc in the Shazam verse or the DC comic verse or whatever. This is a completely original story. This involves Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, and Rachel Ziegler. Spoiler alert: Rachel Ziegler is also one of the God Ladies, and their goal is to get the staff from the previous Shazam movie and take back power from the gods that imprisoned them. It gets into a whole thing, but Zach Levi is the star. Like I said, Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, Rachel Ziegler, Jaimun Hunsen, who apparently needs better representation in Hollywood, and I'm talking about his management, because he came out and said like, yeah, I don't make shit on any of these movies I do, and like, you need a better agent, sir. You're a fantastic actor. I I know you're an Academy Award nominee. I don't remember if you won a thing, but if you're not being paid what you feel you earn, you have bad management, sir. It's not you, it's your management. Anyway, the events from the last Shazam roll over into this movie. It's been 4 years later. Everyone is 4 years older, and Billy Batson is getting ready to turn 18, and that means he's going to come out of he's what's the word I'm looking for? An orphan.
Puberty?
He's an orphan.
Oh.
Well, he's experiencing puberty by a lot, but yeah, he's been an orphan. He lives in a group home, and unlike most movies where like the home is just there to take the paycheck and the foster parents are a bunch of shitty people, some of the best foster parents you've ever seen. Like you want these people to succeed. Their only interest is taking care of these children. There are six of them, by the way.
What?
This foster
Six?
family is in charge of six people,
What?
including Mr. Shazam. And we get a conflict where Mary, the oldest and the prettiest, is she's now 19. She should be in college. She has to take on a full-time job so that she can still live with her family, but now she has to contribute to bills and rent and all that ill shit. and she would rather just be going to college, but she can't. And now we have to focus on Billy Batson is 3 to 4 months away from experiencing that, and he is still acting like a child with superpowers. And these um these aren't the best superheroes in the game, Mike Fish. They are apparently the only ones in the DC universe in a real city. We have Gotham, we have Metropolis. I think the Green Lantern is from Coastal City, but 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 Shazam is actually from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's actually one of the few DC movies where
Oh, did that? Who said that?
I don't know who said that. That was wild. Like I heard that in my ear. Like Lathan, was that you? Ooh, Lathan being very quiet. Being very quiet, Lathan.
Yeah, he's been suspicious now.
So, anyways, I don't want to get too deep into this review here, but I had a great time of the existing DCEU, aka the Snyderverse, which we still have two more movies left, The Flash and Aquaman 2, and then we get a whole new DC cinematic series.
The James
This is the best
Gunniverse.
one, the James Gunniverse, which we probably just coined on this one. TM, Mike Fish. This is the best of the DCEU films, of the Snyderverse. While this is, Zack Snyder's movies are dark and gritty and grounded. And this is still in that universe, but everything is bright colors and children are involved and we're having a great time and wonderment and adventure. And again, there's some horror elements because of David S. Sandberg, and this is the best one. I think the Shazam actually, pound for pound, is the best hero in the Snyderverse right now. So, having said that, I'm giving this it's in theory, I should probably give this a 3 out of 5, but I'm giving this a low 4 out of 5. Like, I really, really enjoyed this. Again, I think it's the best movie in this series of films. We still have two more. My opinion might change, but it might not also. Like, it has a lot of fun, but there are stakes involved. Yes, there's the stereotypical, now we have to fight evil. Like one group of good has to fight one group of evil, and but we don't even. It's barely noticeable compared to Black Adam. This is much better than Black Adam. This was actually supposed to come out before Black Adam, and shit gets shuffled around, and maybe they regret that now. Maybe they don't, because again, the shit's getting rebooted. This made no money. It was the number one movie of the weekend, and it made no money.
How does
So
that work?
there will, well, the movie cost $100 million and it only brought in like 30 million.
Oh, I'm sure. Give it
And
time. Give it time.
everything is based on this opening weekend. Like there are some people that just snail crawl to the finish line. We never hear about those. If you don't make that shit back by double the first weekend, it's a bust. So um, again, folks, go out of your way to see Shazam: Fury of the Gods. This is a perfect family film. It's a perfect superhero film. It is fun. It is not dour. It still has real life consequences, and it's a real city, which is probably the worst bullet point. But still, I really enjoyed Shazam Part Two.
So I'm going to assume, since this was originally supposed to come out before Black Adam, obviously there's no mention of Black Adam.
No, we had a post-credit scene in Shazam Part One, where
Superman goes
the
to the
six
school.
adopted siblings are sitting in their thrones, and they're like, "Hey, there's six of us here, but there's a seventh chair and it's empty." And that was supposed to lead into Shazam, and this was supposed to lead into a Shazam versus Black Adam, probably versus Superman movie.
Or triple
That's
threat.
not definitely not happening. Definitely not happening.
No.
So, James Gunn, I know you listen. I know you're a subscriber. I know you follow us intently, and you take everything from my advice. I want to see more of the Shazamly. I want to see more of Zach Levi. I want to see more of everybody in this movie. David F. Sandberg, if you want to keep making DC movies, I encourage it. Like, again, two for two. This man made a great series of films. So again, 4 to 5. It's 2 hours 10 minutes. Could be shorter, but I didn't feel the length. I didn't care. I had a great time the entire time.
I mean, we could see more,
I
but
saw your
obviously
eyebrows raise.
you didn't feel the length. You didn't feel the length. But because I remember watching that video with James Gunn, because there's going to be kind of like two DC universes going on at the same time, right? Because he's talking about like there's going to be like DC, was it Legacy movies, and then there's going to be DC Universe movies, which are going to have
Well,
one.
so there's always been the TV series, all right, and I
Well,
think
because he's
most of
talking about
those are
obviously like the
wrapping up.
Joker movies and things like that, where they're still DC movies, but they're not part of the overall DCU
That's
story
right.
arc. So it's going to be
That's
like,
right. There's
so
a
I think
Joker Part 2 coming out.
I'm not looking forward to
There,
that.
Joker Part 1 is not a part of the Snyderverse at all, nor
Yes.
will Joker Part 2. So,
But so I
but
think at the
yeah,
beginning of the movies now, I think you're going to see like a distinctive, like sort of like Marvel movie where you get like Marvels that have their dun 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 dun. But then if it's not
that
part of that,
sounds
you just
different.
kind of get like little Marvel. Like you don't get the big dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like oh,
Yeah. DC has their own version of that, where it's just like you see the
like
founding
cartoon
members of the
versions.
Justice League, and then then there's the entire, like, all the characters are there. But when Joker came out, it was like DC, just DC. You didn't get the full fanfare. Um,
So yeah, because now
yeah,
talking about comic book movies, I know it doesn't come out for another year and a half now, but Deadpool 3 is going to be the first Deadpool movie to get the full dun, 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 dun,
yeah,
dun, treatment. Oh, I'm very
yeah.
excited. Very excited.
Deadpool has only gotten the Fox fanfare. I
And then
might
it
be
comes up
generous to
like
saying it got that
in
much, and
association
then
with
I just went
Marvel.
and associated with Marvel, Marvel, Marvel. Yes, I am Marvel.
But yeah, I know we're getting off track and we always do. But I think this is
As
why
we do.
100%, even though it's going to still follow the story arc ish, there is no way that this movie is going to be called Deadpool 3 because it won't make sense to have Deadpool 3 be the first one in the story. So it's going to be Deadpool something.
Yeah, Deadpool. It'll probably literally be a raspberry sound that they phonetically spell.
Well, I mean, at this point, because they've got the Ant-Man and Wasp. Like now, the cat's been out of
Mm-hmm.
the bag for a longer time. They could literally just call it Deadpool and Wolverine or something like that.
They could call it Deadpool and Wolverine, but they're probably not. There's they now own Fox, but there's probably still something where, like, we can't call it Wolverine. So, uh, TBD. We will find
TBD.
out. We will find out about all of that. We're just talking about Shazam 2,
Yeah,
Fury
sorry.
of the
Now,
Gods.
if
I
anyone's
think the best
watching,
thing about this story was they didn't base it on any comic book arc. This was a completely original story.
so you
Like I
can't get
said, Chris
people going.
Morgan.
Actually, if you read the comic book, this wasn't how it happened.
Exactly. I think they made the smartest decision. And James Gunn, I know you're listening, so just make your movies, man. Don't worry about this movie has to lead into this one, which leads into this one, which follows that one. Well, just make your stories. If they cross over, cool. Like Marvel got it, the Conjuring got it, but not everything has to get it. And just make movies, dude. Make an entertaining movie, and that's what Shazam has been. And thank you, David S. Sandberg. 4 to 5.